Hey, welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I'm your host, Ethan Van Skyver. Just a humble ink and superhero merchant. I'm at your service. I'm your friend. I'm your Uncle Ethan. I work for DC Comics, as you can see. Look at this logo. I like that logo. I wish we kept it. Even though when this happened, when this logo first showed up, I was critical of it because I said, well, we went from a bullet which had, I think, 3 or 4 stars to 1 star, which kind of means to me these are 1-star books now instead of 4-star books. And they said, oh, I think it was 4 stars that were on the original DC Bullet. They said, oh, yeah, we agree. But this was still a pretty good logo, and I did like the kind of animated look of it. Just got done with the live stream with the great Tim Seeley. It was funny, my feeling about it was, even though I've known Tim Seeley, I don't think we've met a couple times. I don't think we've ever spent much time together talking about what it is that we do and his feelings about his work. I thought he was, it's funny, he could have been my slightly younger brother because he went through all the same stuff that I did, except he went to college. I didn't. I graduated high school and I got into illustration right away. No kid from my family could afford to go to college. So aside from that, we have a lot of the same attitudes, a lot of the same interests and tastes, and here we are finding ourselves working on Green Lantern books together at the same time. He seemed the interesting thing about him is to me, he's such a composite artist writer that he seems really evenly split between the two when you talk to him. Writers will go on at length talking about, you've seen Mark Waid, you've seen Dan Slott. I mean, these guys love to talk. Artists are more circumspect, that they're a little bit more reserved, find it difficult to find the proper words every now and then to express the ideas in their heads. Tim isn't quite a writer the way he speaks, and he isn't quite an artist the way he speaks. He's a perfect mixture of the two. He comes across as a normal person who is a lot of fun to jam with. And we got, as soon as the chat was over, he even though he'd had I don't know how many glasses of wine, he's like, listen, it's Sunday night. This is my wine night, and listen, I'm with you. Sunday nights, especially during the winter time, I want to drink some wine too. But he still had a very interesting and compelling idea for me to come over and do an issue of Green Lanterns. I'll see if I can work that out in between issues of Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. But I really enjoyed speaking with him. I think he has a nice presence, and I hope you liked it too. I wanted to talk to you about just a few things. This is going to be one of those videos where I talk about covers that I've done, and in an effort to keep my commentaries about my work complete, oftentimes it's worthwhile to discuss these covers. This is something else. This was a Tales of the Sinestro Corps. Cyborg Superman got a one-shot, and it was written by Alan Burnett, and the pencils were Patrick Blaine. And I used to talk to Patrick Blaine on social media. He was a lot of fun to talk to. He reminds me a little bit of Liam Sharp in the way he draws. Everything's super dark, a lot of European influence, a lot of veins, a lot of shadows. He's a lot of fun to look at, and it was just a really nice guy to me when I'd speak to him about what we were doing. He was referring to some of my work when he drew this, so we did chat a bit, and here I am doing the cover, and I was just supposed to draw Cyborg Superman having beaten Superman, and I thought, you could do the traditional thing where you have the hero or the villain standing over the hero's body in a heap of rubble. God, that's boring. It's boring. I mean, you can do it well, but people have seen it a million times and they don't want to see it again, especially not when you can be funny like this. So Cyborg Superman, who in some way believes that he is Superman, I guess, peeling off Clark Kent's glasses, trying them on for size. He's hanging Clark Kent slash Superman by his necktie, which I think is vicious, and his eye is swollen shut, so he's giving Superman a shiner, which is some indication as to how strong this character is. He's able to give Superman a bruise. Not many bad guys can do that. Surrounded by the Justice League of the time. Here we have Vixen down here in the corner. They're kind of hard to see. Like, I forgot that I actually drew them. I think Moose Bauman colored this. You can see his little signature right down here. And he's a really, really good colorist. I think he saw my inks and decided to push these characters way back. You can see Arsenal slash Red Arrow here, Black Canary, push back. I mean, they're, what he would do is he would color hold my black lines and he would make them brown. And that way they would recede into the background and he would leave Superman and the main characters in the front here, he'd leave their lines black so they pop forward. And also, of course, our main hero here is Hal Jordan. Leave him black, he pops forward. And in the background, you have Batman, which I like the way I drew his cape kind of flaring up behind Cyborg Superman's head. That's a nice effect. You've got Black Lightning, really small here, but he's got a nice little spark of blue energy. Wonder Woman, and sorry, Hawk Girl, we couldn't get your head in there, so her head's being cut off by the letter A. This is a good cover. I think it's funny. Like, when I drew it, I laughed, and I think people liked it. I do so love drawing this character. Look at this intricate musculature under here. Oh, yeah, thoroughly enjoyed drawing Cyborg Superman, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. Here we have something a little more recent. This is Earth 2 Society, and I wasn't sure what this was. It was just they called me up and said, hey, you want to do a cover for this? And I said, sure, send me the reference. And they said, okay, so is this Power? I can't even remember who these characters are. But they sent me the reference and said, these two characters are fighting. And I said, all right. And it's kind of the future. And I went, okay. It's not bad. I like her face. She looks like Debbie Harry from Blondie. She looks pretty good. Yeah, it's fine. It's a fine cover. I had to go out and buy this. They didn't actually send me comps for it. So sometimes that happens. You'll just do a cover and looks like this is 2015. Who colored this? House? It says House? I wonder if it'll say inside. Andrew Dollhouse. Wow, I really like his stuff. I wasn't aware that Andrew Dollhouse colored this. It's good. I like this. I like that his eye beams are kind of hitting her cape and burning through it a little bit. Yeah, it's fine. Good colors. All right, so here's me being obedient. I'd finished my book on time, and I had a weekend free. And I kept saying to DC, I said, always keep me busy. Always keep me busy. Do not let me have any free time. And so they said, well, the last issue of Lobo, and this is, of course, Vampire Sparkly Twilight Lobo. Last issue of Lobo's coming out, written by someone you like. I do like Cullen Bunn. And, drawn by a number of people, but the last 5 pages we're going to need an artist for. And I said, send them my way. I'll do it. And they said, well, Hal Jordan is in it. But this is the Hal Jordan that I didn't enjoy drawing because he's nothing like Hal Jordan. He's got long hair. He wears kind of a trench coat. I think they were trying to do a kind of Guardians of the Galaxy thing with Hal. Just to shake things up, just to do something different. But sure, why not? I'll draw it. I'll show you my pages. Tell me if you like them. You might not like them. I don't even remember what they look like. Okay, so here we have the other artist. Lobo has just been fried, and he's down on the ground. They're walking away from him. I did all 5 pages in a weekend, okay? So it's not bad. So here are her feet walking away. Look at Lobo, like just sizzling. Look at the detail on that hand. Why did I do that? I was showing off. And then suddenly, I think he's imagining these shadowy figures reaching out to him. Take me back, take me home, he says. And there we go. There, I got to do a kind of splashy shot of this version of Hal Jordan, which, I mean, I appreciated it. It was okay to do. I like the energy all around him. It's good. And the fact that I did this so quickly, this is encouraging. I really need to get back to drawing quickly again. Oh, yeah. Oh, so I had to draw his spaceship landing. Look, I don't want it, like, here's a trick, guys. I don't want to learn to draw his spaceship, because when you hear, oh, there's a shot of his spaceship coming in for a landing, you automatically, as an artist, picture, I'm going to take up all this room to draw the detail of his spaceship. Well, it's not necessary, because really all you need to show is his spaceship landing and the environment in which it's landing. And I'm going to draw it real small, and that way I don't have to do too much detail on it. I can rush it and get it done on time and spend time on something more interesting, which is Lobo, who is now beginning to heal, and his physique and, you know, his whole darkness. Like, totally thinking about Glenn Danzig as I draw this, you know, his hair and his face and just muscular and kind of sullen. And here's the bad guy here who's taking him away. And I don't know, something about rocks, who knows? Lobo doesn't like it though. He's starting to come to. His eyes light up. And then here's a real quick page here. Look at this. You know, he's about to inject him with something, I think. Who knows? But Lobo's got his knife out. Look at that knife. And then boom. This is the last page of the last issue of Lobo. And I just said, okay. I mean, I drew this, I actually started out and drew it one way. I actually drew him in the foreground, like with his chest out to us, and then Lobo was creeping up behind him, and the knife was going to be coming right at us. And I went, no, you know what? Like, we need to see all of him. We need to see as much of Lobo as possible, because this is the last time you're going to see this character. And if you're buying the book, one would assume, you always have to assume, that he is liked and people are a fan of him, and therefore you got to give it his all. You know, good face here. I like that. Good knife going right through his back here, and just the strength as he picks him up off the ground. That would hurt. It's very disrespectful, and it would hurt. So I did these 5 pages in 3 days, and they were very pleased with me. Very pleased indeed. Earth 2. Hey, Ethan, do you want to do covers for Earth 2? Okay, what do I got to draw? Oh, it's Earth 2 Superman. He looks like this. Holy hell, he looks like a bad guy. Yeah, sure, I'll do it. Okay, well, we want you to draw him destroying the charred skeletal corpses of, you know, various Earth 2 DC characters. And here's what you need to draw. You need to do Batman. You need to do the Flash. You need to do Dr. Fate. You need to do Green Lantern. And Hawkman. Here's Hawkman's wing, I guess. And then these two characters watching the Inferno as he just, why? Why, Superman? Why destroy their skulls? They're already dead. Because he's not a nice guy. He's Superman, the Man of Terror. Not a bad cover, not a great one. Oh, here's a great one. So I was doing these covers for, I think this is a 4-part miniseries called 52 World War and World War III. So they had these, you know, the Roman numeral for 3. And then I remember Dan DiDio being very involved in this and him saying, you know, we want you to draw in, you know, each numeral one of these images. So here we have Jason Rush Firestorm. This was the first time I ever drew Firestorm, and I went to town on it. I was like, yeah, give me this character. Love Firestorm. And, you know, drawing this small, I whipped out the real tiny little rapidograph pens and got in there and did the detail. Right here you have Black Adam covered in blood, like spattered in someone else's blood. Yeah, super pleased with that. Very, very happy with that. And then here, I think the general idea was the return of Jason, I think. And Jason is standing behind the old Robin uniform. And he's standing in such a way that it looks like it's on him. Like he's standing behind the glass case that contains the very sad, uniform Bruce keeps to remind himself that Jason died. I think that's what this is. Yeah, that turned out pretty good too. Look how tiny my signature is there. 2007. Yeah, 2007 was a good year. I was working really hard. Here's another one. I couldn't find all four of them, but I found two. So here is Batgirl at the time, and she's kicking the hell out of people. And then this is a nice 3-point perspective shot. Again, working with tiny little pens, drawing all the windows. And then you've got Deathstroke aiming his gun at her. They said, hey, Ethan, Donna Troy is going to become Wonder Woman. I said, ooh, that's interesting. What does she look like? They said, we don't know. I said, well, I'll tell you what she looks like. She looks like this. And this costume, I don't think caught on. I don't think this is in the book. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'll look. I don't see it really. But yeah, people loved this Wonder Woman, Donna Troy. And I do too. I think this could have really caught on. This is just my attitude about these things is just to keep everything. Don't throw anything away. Just keep it if you can. So we know this is Donna Troy, the Starfield uniform. Throw on Wonder Woman's, kind of jewelry, and you've got a brand new, exciting looking character that pays homage to what's come before. Supergirl being hit by a bolt of lightning and splitting her reality between two worlds, the future and the present. The lightning hits her and it traces the little S on her chest. That's pretty cute. Look at all that detail back there. All this detail here. You can't see that. Is that worth it? You'd have to look at it with a magnifying glass, but really, really good. These covers are great. I'm proud of them. For what they are, they're just, three little bands. I think another artist might have seen this as a cheat cover. I didn't. I just said, I'm going to draw as if this is going to be blown up into full size, each one of these. And thus, I think they're really fun to look at. They gave me cover duties on JSA way back when, 2004. This is me working with Jeff Johns again, and working closely with him. He was doing this book with Don Kramer, and it was important to him. He was on JSA for a good long time, and it was a great series. And I think this was my second cover that I did with him, where I drew very small. Look at the pretty good. Mr. Terrific's figure here as he's reaching down and examining this bloody crime scene. Nice. They all look pretty nice. I like Jay Garrick. He's paying his respects. He's got his helmet off. Alan Scott looks a little iffy. I like his cape here. I don't like his shoulder. I wish I'd pushed that down. But for some reason, I wanted him to look spookier. But yeah, for the most part, you got Spectre's hands embracing the whole image. This was one of those things. I think I was given a cover sketch for this. I think Pete Tomasi was the editor, and Pete Tomasi did a little stick figure of this. And my first attempt was okay, but he said no, it needs to be more cover-like. So I had to exaggerate big time the chalk outline and stretch it out, make it more foreshortened and more exciting, so it leads up to our heroes. Not bad. This is very recent. The Sinestro book here, this series, they called me up and said, hey, it's the Flash's anniversary. You're known for drawing the Flash. We want you to do a parody of the cover for Sinestro Corps War #1. And I said, yeah, well, like how? And he said, I don't know, Flash is running through and affecting it somehow. So I don't know if I took advantage of this as much as I should have. I really should have had more of the Flash on here, but my idea was he's already been there and he's changed everything. He's freed the lanterns from the sticking post that they were on. Now they're raising their fists up with happiness and joy. And boom, he stole Sinestro's ring. Sinestro's like, what the? Unfortunately, this was impossible to do because, look, what is he standing on? Like, what's he running on, a railing? This doesn't work perspective-wise. Like, his leg would be down here. If I had drawn it properly, you'd only see a boot coming up. You wouldn't see his leg and his butt and everything. So it's a little bit of a cheat, just to make a point. Do I like this cover? No, it's all right. It was fun to redraw, this and get as close as I could, to the original. But I feel like it's a wasted opportunity. I could have done more with it. And finally, here's a cover for an issue of Firestorm that I did. And I'm actually not going to talk about this right now. Somebody asked me today in the live chat, they said, "Are you going to talk about Firestorm anytime soon?" This is a touchy subject. This involves some bad blood between me and Gail Simone. A bad time, a bad working environment, and I've kind of questioned. I've wondered if I should talk about it, and to what degree or extent I should talk about it. And I've decided I'm going to talk about it to some extent. I just think people should know what happened and what went wrong, because things definitely went wrong with this book. If you look here, this is drawn by me, like co-written and drawn by me, and Joe Harris, who came in and took over for Gail Simone when she quit. So we will, I'm going to save this for later and just tease you that I'm going to start with Firestorm, Fury of Firestorm, the Nuclear Men, #1, and we'll go through it, and I'll tell you where I think things went fishy. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Hey guys, listen, do me a favor, please hit subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and tell a friend. I mean, listen, I appreciate all your support very much. I read every single one of your comments. In fact, I look at the comments while I'm working. I check and see if anybody said anything. Absolutely love hearing from you. So don't hesitate. If you've got something to say, write it down for me. I will get the message, and if you ask a question, I'll probably respond to it and answer you. Thank you endlessly for your support. This channel has grown so fast, and I owe it all to you, and I think the special relationship that you and I are developing through this channel. So there you go. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.